Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to post this video real quick before I go into work. Um, just to share, it's kind of a testimony Tuesday, but not exactly. So, Sunday, my husband and our family was invited uh, to fellowship with another church, Greater Grace Outreach Ministries, and my husband was invited to preach. So the message that God gave my husband to preach on was the story of Joseph. So many of you may know Joseph was the son of Jacob. Um, and within that sermon, the story is just so powerful, in which many people don't realize a lot of these stories and things that happen in biblical times are things that definitely relate to right now. So Joseph, he was a younger son. He had a bunch of brothers, and they were all pretty much jealous of him because the father showed a lot of favoritism to Joseph. Joseph also had a gift to have dreams and be able to interpret dreams that God gave him. So, but he would be so, excited about things and just, being green, just sharing them with his brothers, and they would, be turning their face up, not too much liking it, not liking the fact that he was favored by their father. So, it got so bad with the jealousy that they had plotted to kill him. Um, but they decided to just sell him into slavery. Like, it really went that far from being jealous. So once they did that, they told Jacob, that he was dead. His father was devastated, but they still carried on with the lie that he was dead when really he got sold into slavery. So, with that happening to Joseph, afterwards, he even got in prison at one point. But the gift that he had that initially got him plotted to be killed, then sold into slavery, that same gift allowed him to raise up because he was able to interpret a dream of a pharaoh. And because he did that, the pharaoh released him from prison, made him just a real rich, prosperous person in Egypt at that time. And during the same time, his family back home, they were suffering through a famine. They were, didn't have any food, very poor. So long story short, Joseph was able to bless his family, move them to where he was, allow them to live with him. He had forgiven his brothers, ultimately for what they had done. And he was able to save his family basically because of the gift that he had. So, that sermon, when God gave that to my husband to preach on, like, it touched a lot of people. It even touched me because, you think about things that gifts or talents that you may have, and, you want to share it with people. You want to share things that God is doing for you with your family, with your friends, and you have no idea that it's like stirring up this evil, like, jealousy inside of them. Like, you have no idea. But you need to be aware of that. Like, that happens. And unfortunately, sometimes speaking on certain things too soon, or just not keeping it to yourself, sometimes can cause other things to happen. But one thing is for sure, that if God has promised you something, if God has given you something, in the end, it's going to work out for your good, like it did for Joseph. And why I'm making this kind of a part of a testimony Tuesday is because, I don't have many people in my circle who, are speak down or appear to be jealous, of anything that, that I say that God has done for me. At least I don't know about it. But, sometimes conversations can be discouraging, when you share certain things with people, when you're trying to get to another place in life as a Christian. Because when I first started doing Testimony Tuesdays, I had someone very close to me, pretty much read the first couple of testimonies and then share it with me that, that it reminded them of how I used to be, some of the nasty, mean things that I said, when we had some arguments. And I'm like, why would you be thinking of something negative like that when I'm trying to be a better person? Like, I'm trying to live for God. I'm trying to draw souls near God. And the first thing that popped in your head was when I, said anything out of my mouth, and when I was, mean and nasty to you, when truth be told, you kind of did the same thing to me. So that almost made me feel like I'm not even worthy of sharing any testimonies, because, I may have done so many things in the past, and because I'm not perfect, like maybe I'm not even worthy to be sharing anything with anybody. But that's a trick of the devil, most definitely, to discourage you from what you're doing. Don't let your past, don't let people who want you to remain in your past, or who don't want to view you any other way but how you used to be, in a negative light. Never let that keep you from God's purpose and God's plan for you. I will say that. You have to keep going, because that Satan is going to get what he wants if you're discouraged enough to just stop doing what you're doing and just feel like you have to be stuck in that place. So, with the story of Joseph, him coming from a long way of so much hurt, so much betrayal, so much pain, to rise up to really reap the benefits of the gift that God has given him, that's so powerful. Because when God gives you something, you best believe, since it came from him, like, it's going to be a major blessing on your life, and it can also be a blessing on other people's life. I'm still trying to figure out exactly the direction that God has me going in, but I do know that a gift that I have, that he's given me, is the ability to tell my testimonies, because I'm not ashamed. You have some people that want to put on a persona. They only want to show, the good things going on in their life. They want to keep it hush hush and secret when they've struggled or went through things. And I'm like not like that. I've pretty much never been like that. All of my friends and my family, they know that I'm just going to put it out there and not be ashamed to tell things. I'm not a secretive person, like that. In which, sometimes, you don't have to tell everything. But especially if I feel like it can help the next person, I'm not ashamed to say I've done stupid things. I've let my emotions get the best of me. I didn't let God lead me in the things that I say and the things that I do. I was working for Satan, pretty much. I'm not ashamed to say that, because many of us, we all come from some place, and I'm still a work in progress to this day. And I just vow that I'm going to allow God to continue to use the gift that I know that he's given me to glorify him and to glorify his kingdom. And I know it's up from there, basically. So I just wanted to share that today, and I hope everybody has a blessed day.